What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So I have some exciting news. There's a new material that just hit the market, not a new brand, but a new material. And the material is from TinyBot. I'll put a link in the description below for everybody, but this material is carbon fiber. So I'm just fanning it as I go along. Now, carbon fiber is probably the most sought after finish in a vinyl wrap in the entire world, other than possibly gloss black. Those two are probably very similar in their desirability. Since I can remember, carbon fiber has been very popular. We started out with dry carbon fiber, had that for many years until the gloss carbon fiber was finally released. And the gloss carbon fiber that's meant for exterior use, I find is a little bit dark and doesn't really show the true finish of the carbon fiber. Now, the stuff that is made for interior use tends to look a lot better, but because the lamination on top is not sealed, and this goes for any paint protection film out right now or vinyl wrap that is meant for interior use or that it has a high gloss carbon fiber, is mainly meant for interior use. I can only think of one brand that has it that looks more legit for an exterior use, other than now we have something that looks much better. Why can't you use it for exterior use when it's an interior use carbon fiber? That's because the lamination on top isn't sealed, and so it gets water between the laminates, and if water can find its way, it will, and it will find its way into the lamination, and it can possibly over time delaminate your material. Other than that, it just doesn't look pretty when it's wet and takes a couple of days to dry out depending on how hot it is. Just for timestamp, it is March 15th, 2025, and again, those products that are currently on the market are not waterproof, let's call it that. Now, TinyBot has come up with a new product, and I've tested this. I have a bucket of water here, and it's been sitting in here. I have a piece about this size, or a little bit bigger actually, that's been sitting in the water all day. I just finished a training with one-on-one, so if Ken, you're watching, you can comment and validate, or if not, you don't want to validate, the fact that I have had this vinyl sitting in the water all day. The last video that I did of carbon fiber from TinyBot, it was an interior use only carbon fiber. We did use it on the exterior. I did mention that in the video though. You can, at your own risk, use the older versions on exterior. So this is the older version. It looks very good, but a couple of things with this, okay? First of all, paper release liner, mediocre, okay? It doesn't help enhance the finish. It actually degrades the finish of the actual glossiness or clarity of the material. Other than that, it has a hard cap sheet. It's pretty standard on a lot of carbon fibers, though this one, the new one, does not, from what I've seen so far. I did cut a piece off, but I didn't see, is there a cap sheet on this? Maybe I should check that. I don't see a cap sheet on it. Okay, maybe it will come with one, maybe it won't, I don't know. I just ordered 20 feet of this. They sent it over to me so I can do a video on this because I thought it was really cool, and I'm excited about it because, again, we don't have anything that looks this good that is installable for exterior use, okay? Exterior use. So this is the carbon fiber that the video has like 1 million views on it. It's crazy. So that's it right there. How well you can see that. Hopefully the camera will focus on it. And then here is the new stuff. We're gonna get you up close and personal. I'm gonna show you how to wrap this massive hood on this Dodge Ram. It is just a rental, so don't worry about it. It's all coming off and going back afterwards. But again, I have tested the material. So trying to focus in on the carbon fiber if I can. Is that possible? Anyways, I'll get you in afterwards if that's not showing up. It's hard to tell on a 2-inch screen. Okay, the benefit of the new stuff as well is that we're rocking a PET liner, PET, okay? That's a plastic release liner. That helps to enhance the smoothness of the actual finish and clarity overall. So you're gonna get a nicer looking, more improved finish. I'm just gonna move that over to the side. If you guys are looking for how to vinyl wrap videos, check out my website, ckwraps.com. The link's in the top corner and the description below. Giving away 1 month free or first month free, as always, for new signups. Feel free to check it out. Open forum discussion board. You can ask me questions there, post pictures, anything. I go on there every day and answer them for you. Just letting you know as a reminder. Okay, let's get into this. So to show you the material that's sitting in the bucket, I'm gonna bring the bucket up. And if you notice in there, there's a little piece of material just sitting right at the back there. Oh, well, that shows in the camera again. I'm gonna peel that out. And I only submerged half because I wanted to be able to tell if half of it did get water between the laminate or not. This has been in here for at least, I don't know, what time is it? 4:30, so it's been in here since around 10. Okay, so 6 hours, 6.5 hours. I'm gonna dry that off. Let me get a cloth, 1 second. I'm not gonna switch it out. You're gonna see that it's still wet. Okay, I'm not switching it out. And dry that off. Now, there is 0 water between the laminate and the carbon fiber itself. So to show you, and this is not a PPF, this is a vinyl wrap, okay? So this is the new stuff. Looks very, very good. And the fact, again, that you can use it exterior side is extremely important. How does it compare to the last generation? You tell me, it's very close. Okay, new stuff here, older stuff there. Try and give you some lighting angles here. Let's go switch sides there. There we go. Give you both options, okay? So to me, that maybe looks a little bit darker, which is nice. All right, darker in a good way, not darker in a bad way. Darker, like you can still see the carbon fiber weave, and the pattern is very clear. Darker, like the black is more black. Let's get into this. Let me move that bucket out of the way before I trip over it. I have the hood already prepped. I have the piece already cut, and we're gonna get into a full-blown install on this hood right here. Where the hell the hair just came from? I just got one on here. I don't know where that must have fallen from the ceiling somehow. Okay, let's do this. Let's roll this out. If anyone wants to donate their car next time, you let me know. So as far as testing the actual product with water, that's done. TinyBot, as far as the product itself goes, very reliable material. Have never been worried about it. Again, they made it very clear, and I made it clear in that last video with like 1 million views, that the last version was not for exterior use, but you could use it, and as I did in the video, used it for exterior use. All right, throw a magnet down for once. Something's magnetic. It's not often that vehicles these days have any steel on them anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna move my heat gun out of the way. It's sort of in my way right now. Another thing is that this product is only gonna get better in about a month or so. So this is like an exclusive access for you guys to see this first and foremost before anyone else even has their hands on it other than TinyBot employees and people who are there. You guys will be the first to see this. The next product that's coming out, and you guys will be the first to see it as well, is they're coming out with it in a PPF version, okay? So currently, there is carbon fiber PPF on the market, but the carbon fiber PPF that's on the market gets water between the laminates. The laminate. And so, it's not really good for exterior use. Slap my magnet down there. I cut my corner funny, so it was a bit of a rough start. I cut a piece off, that's why earlier, that piece so I could submerge it in the bucket. Yeah, we're gonna roll this off. I have probably so I don't have too much. The hood is actually pretty massive, front to back and side to side. So this piece is, how long was it? About 80, I wanna say 86 inches long, and then 60 inches tall, of course, that's pretty standard. So 5 feet. Oh, it's a static. Oh, ow, ow. Okay, I'm just trying to ground myself there. All right, I should have brought my other race ramp over so I can stand up, but we're gonna flatten this out, obviously. I can do one thing here first, not a bad idea, is I'll cut away the section here that's stuck to the window. This gets extremely annoying, so let's find the hood. Let's trim away the section that's stuck to the window and get that out of the way, because that's going to cause a pocket in the top section, okay? Done lots of hood wraps. You guys should mainly know this kind of thing, but you know, it's okay. Some of you are new, haven't seen any videos yet. We want you to get all the details out of it. Adhesive, sticky, okay? It's not like low tack. Again, you're gonna find consistency across the board with each brand. They have their own types of adhesives and how they feel and so forth. Okay, otherwise, it's just sitting there, lifts up pretty nicely, okay? I'm barely trying, barely trying. The film, the material actually feels quite thin, thinner than like standard polymeric materials. So we're gonna bring that up, pop that up like a bed sheet, a little bit higher, pull that nice and tight across the high point, which is that hump in the hood there. We're gonna come across here and flatten some of this out. So let's get that out of your way. I need to bring my other erase ramp over so I don't have to keep dragging this one. I thought I did. Oh, I did. It's right here. I don't have to keep dragging the other one over. Just have one on each side. All right, let's get rid of my magnet there. Now, my suggestion is when you're wrapping very large flat areas like this, is to get in there and squeegee them pretty quickly, okay? If you throw a little bit of solution on the surface, could just be soapy water, detail spray, whatever you like, that'll help give the surface a bit of glide. It's gonna help your squeegee feel a little bit nicer when you do this, okay? But I wanna tackle these large flat areas ASAP, especially up at the top here, hard to reach, right? All this in here, we're gonna correct all that in a moment. Okay, left-handed, should have taken my bracelet off. It's just a rental, like I said, so. I wanna make sure that, there we go. Squeegeeing left-handed, just because the truck's so high up, it's so awkward. It's like doing my Jeep. Okay, we're gonna go and squeegee out a bunch of this. Let's get that out of there. I'm gonna have to lift that, that sucks. I got a bubble stuck in there, it's my fault. I squeegeed the wrong way, so we're gonna lift it up. And now, am I gonna get a lift line or anything like that? We'll find out. I highly doubt it. Push that down, there we go. Okay, so let's go faster this time. Just waited too long. Pull close enough to the edge here so I can elevate the film and finish this off. Yeah, it was my fault for getting that bubble in there and squeegeeing left-handed. I've done it many times, but it's still awkward for me. That's a far reach. Cool. Okay, high point, mainly done. We'll leave all this, it's not a problem. We're gonna focus a bit more here. Okay, we're gonna focus a bit here. There's a nice pocket right there, so I can able to squeegee air out a little bit easier. Good. I almost have a fold right there. So we're gonna lift the material up and pull it back. And yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that TinyBot is going to be releasing this in all of their carbon fibers as far as I know, which means they're honeycomb as well and so forth. So everything should be exterior use acceptable. Cool. Not a single glue line, not a single lift line, nothing. Okay, I'm about ready to start tackling the corners. So we're gonna start tackling the corners. I'm just getting out some more of these high points here. What do I have there? There was a debris in the paint somewhere around there. I think that's it right there. And there's a couple more over there. Can't see them right now, but they might show up afterwards. Okay, I'm gonna fix that up right here. Pop, pop, cool. Bring it back down. Nice, squeegee that out. Okay, the only reason why I can squeegee it just almost any way I want is because I just laid the material down. If the material has been sitting, you're gonna wanna probably pop it up again, lift it, squeegee it nicely, you know. All right, let's get into heat gun mode. Right, you know, yes, I still use vinyl wrap. It's very rare these days, but because the demand for PPF is definitely really high, and especially as far as my clientele goes. But it doesn't mean that this is still not exists or still not a great product, because again, this is going to come in at a lower price point than paint protection film. Okay, let's grab our heat gun. We're gonna do the standard pulling out to the corner. So heating, shrinking, pulling out to the corner. I'm gonna cut off a bunch of that right there. And we have to get over this beautiful compound curve. Now on this side, I'm stretching against the grain. I have to be very careful. So I'm going to heat and shrink the material. I'm just keeping the material elevated and letting it stick to my fingers. I want to work the material nice and evenly with heat. Keep heating. Chase those fingers right towards my hands. And then when I go to put the material down, I'm going to put even tension left and right and bring it down. So somewhere around there, I think we're pretty good. And just get in there. Don't pull too hard. I'm pulling outwards, very, very important. And my hood edge is right there. Cool. I have a wrinkle there. That's okay. I'm going to squeeze you out the high point. I want to squeeze you out the high points here as well. But the main thing is we don't want to distort the carbon fiber weave. I'm pulling against it here. Now, did I stretch the weave out? 100%, okay? There's no way I didn't stretch the weave out. Now, how I stretch the weave out or how much I stretch the weave out, that matters. Because if I stretch the weave out a lot, you're really gonna notice it. But are you gonna be able to notice if I stretch it very evenly and consistently from one side to the next? Are you gonna notice it? You will not notice it. It'll just tie and blend right in as long as it's marginal. You can stretch carbon fiber almost around anything and do it well as long as you do it nicely. Okay, I'm just gonna fix it up here. Got a little bit of bunching. So I'm just letting the material shrink. Cool, pull that down. Just fix up right here a little bit more. More of a cold stretch. There we go, or warm stretch, whatever you wanna call it. Shop right now, temperature-wise, we're looking at about, it was 22 degrees Celsius, so it's like, what, probably 75-ish Fahrenheit. Okay, pop that up. Let's get these bubbles out. I don't want to have to stretch or do anything here. It should go down pretty much all the way to the edge of the hood, and it sure did right there. So zero tension on any edges so far. Let's finish up the side over here a bit. And for the other side, I'll get you into with some closer angles. Over here on the top, I see some bubbles that are just going to get stuck. So I pop that up and then squeeze you out the high point again. So where the material is mainly resting, because that's going to trap air. See, you can hear those bubbles? It's trapping air. You want to, with this material, you want to bridge the gaps, find the gaps, bridge the gaps, and heat and push into most of the gaps. With the tack being higher, you're going to be able to do that no problem. And trust that the material is going to stay. This truck has these funny little vents on the side. I was trying to remove them. You can see the clips on where they are underneath, but the clips are like super strong. Okay, so here we're going to heat and shrink, get the sides done nice and tight. I'm just basically letting the material stick to my fingers. Bring that down. Beauty. Fix up there a bit. Again, just letting the material shrink, do its thing. I don't want to really force it or stretch it at this point. Just expand it. I can do some expansion of the material. There we go. Okay, so almost done. Let's do a little bit more over here. Probably don't need much, just a tiny bit of heat just to let it shrink. Cool. And that has shrunk, so I'm just going to place that down. Obviously with a bit of spread on it. You can't see anything what I'm doing right now, but you'll see in a moment when I get to the other side. Fix up one wrinkle or bubble that I have here, the very, very ends. Nope, don't want to fix for me. There we go. Okay, now again, with this being a polymeric, it has the ability to shrink around stuff. And again, I say ability because it's an ability. It's not a disability, it's an ability. I love the fact that polymerics shrink a little bit more than a cast because I use that to my advantage, like doing corners, breeze. You can do any corner in the world with a polymeric. It's the easiest thing. Just shrinks right down around the corner. Okay, we're gonna palm in to the recess right here first, and then we're gonna move on to the other side and get you in really close. So maybe I'll just slide the camera over slightly and get you zoomed in a bit more, like right there. Zoomed in more right around here so you can see what I'm doing. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to, since this material isn't subject to getting adhesive lines, I haven't noticed a single one yet. I'm gonna close this gap slightly, not much. I just want to even out my line where it's connecting. I don't want it to be wavy and wonky. I want it to be nice and straight. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat the material. You're gonna see it move. Oh, what I just noticed here is that I left a little bit of air behind right there. There we go. Good. Okay. So we're gonna see it move. The movement is the material shrinking. Once that happens, we're able to push the material in. So you want it to shrink, so it gets wrinkles, it goes flat again, and then we're able to now push the material in. At this point, you can choose to keep it warm or just move at a solid rate. Nice pace. Push right into the deep part of the recess. Boom. Come in there, squeegeeing out on the flat sections. Try not to leave any air behind. It will be a pain to get it out, I'm telling you. It's all coming out the top now. And I've got a couple of tiny, almost fingers up there. Good, got them. Oops, a little bit tighter. There we go. And finish that off right there. Nice. Okay, go over it. No popping, no snapping. That means we have no air. I can do the side section over here. I might as well do that one too since I'm here. Let's heat up that. That's shrinking, it's moving, it's good, it's exactly what we want. Let's get in there, I'm fanning it this time. This one's a little bit deeper, the recess. So it's nice to keep this one a little bit warmer as we go right through it. I did leave some air behind there, and can I get that out? Yep, got it out. So the air release works nicely, so nothing to worry about. Just don't want to leave a lot of bubbles behind because that just slows you down. Okay, I'm gonna pop my glove off. I have a little bit to fix right there. So just some trapped air. That's just because we were coming around the hard body line, like this bend right here, this body line. Not stretching the material down, let it relax and get it down cold, okay? Side's good. Let's go to the other side. Let's get you in nice and close over here. So I'm gonna zoom back a bit and see where I can get you that makes the most sense. Sorry for the jump in the camera. Okay. And adjust this. There we go. Okay, so that should be pretty decent. I'll zoom in a bit. There. Okay, we have to tackle that section. Okay, big air pocket there. That's okay. I've got wrinkles, fingers, everything's a mess. All good. I have too much material here. There's the edge of my hood. We're gonna cut off a whole bunch of extra material. Making sure all that's in camera. We're good. You can hear when I cut it, you can hear that texture to the finish. That's not like I feel the texture here. It's maybe a little bit texture. It's interesting. I don't know how they did it, but they did it somehow. I was trying to adjust the camera slightly. I feel like it's on an angle. It's bothering me. Okay. All right. Unstick all this. Pull. Pop this up. Pull. By popping it up, I just pull it towards myself. I don't want to elevate the material too high, because if I elevate the material too high, I'm going to undo a bunch of my work. So I'm going to lift my hand up to approximately the elevation of that bubble there, pop underneath. There we go. Okay. So I got that done. I want to squeegee that bubble out. And now on this side, I'm stretching with the grain. So the chances of causing distortion in the material, very minimal. You're not going to notice anything. Like the chances of that even happening is like next to none. Unless you somehow really mess this up, okay? So I'm looking for my corner. Okay, grab my heat gun. Keep the film elevated. I'm gonna come up a little bit higher there just to get over a larger spread. There we go. And boom, let's do it. And watching the material move. At this point, I'm not trying to stretch it. I'm watching the material shrink and move. I will let you know the exact moment I'm starting to stretch it. But right now, you'll see my left hand is not moving towards my body at all. I'm just keeping the material tight. Okay? So that's good. I've shrunk it all the way over top. Keep the material warm, and we're gonna put the heat gun down. Hand over top, expand outwards, pulling a little bit, just enough to keep the material tight, okay? Here is the edge of my hood. Here's the edge of the hood, and so forth. These wrinkles, we can take them and just slightly shift them back the other way. Got some right there. These are easy to fix. Watch. I'll fix them right now. There we go, gone. Just shrinks and went away, okay? That's because I had tension pulling this way, or pulling that way, whatever way. It was pulling across. Okay, let's pop this up. Let's fix up the rest of the air that I have in this section. And again, if I get bunched up here, what's gonna happen is, there's the edge of the hood, I'm just gonna heat it, and the material will shrink down and wrap around the edge. Okay, here's the very end, the lowest part of the hood right there at the front. Got some bubbles, it's not bubbles, fingers right there. Just heat them, let them shrink, done. That was my fault, caused a tiny wrinkle there. There we go, good to go. Okay, so far, this section, beautiful. I wanna squeegee out the high point again. Okay, I'm watching here. Cool. We have to fix up the top a little bit. So right now, I'm not digging how it is for this part. Let's fix that up. Okay, I'm just cold stretching it because I don't see the need to heat it. Squeegee my high point because that is the point that's going to trap air again. I'll say that many times. We're gonna pull the material tight down this side. So even if I can get you a bit more over here maybe. Let's see. There we go. Okay, and let's get the camera adjusted. Okay, so I think something like that. I'm trying not to cut the seam because I want you guys to see this for all that it is in its rawest form. Nothing to hide, okay? Cool, get that up. Is there a chance I can get debris under the wrap when I put my hand under it? Yes. Make sure your hands are dry. Make sure you're not wearing a bracelet like me. And you could get mostly like a hair follicle. But usually you can feel if there's dirt on your hands. A hair follicle is probably the most common. So take that, pull that down cold. This side was set up just a bit better than the other side. It's how it goes sometimes. That's okay, I don't mind. Great. Now again, similar things going on here. Let's start with the top. Let's angle the camera a bit more level. There we go. Something like that. Cool. We're going to heat that up. I think this should make a pretty solid thumbnail. We're going to heat that up and get right in there. Okay. 28 minutes in, not bad. Okay, we don't have much longer to go. Small bubble up there, let's get that. Okay, pre-shrinking the material all over again. This side's much easier for me, I'm right-handed. So when it comes to squeegeeing, it's gonna be just easier. Okay, it went wrinkles, then went flat again, so we're good. Palm into the deepest part of the recess. Palm all the way through. Right up to the top, come in here, and let's get the rest done. Try not to go too fast with your squeegee. You can actually sometimes mark the film. It's my fault, left a bubble behind there. I have really nice buffers on my squeegee. They're from Tri-Edge, love them. They're like fine Japanese suede. So if you're not using something like that, just go a little more gentle. These things last forever too. Okay, fix up the last little section right there. Oh, I left some air here. All good, we're gonna get the last few air bubbles out. That's okay, we're gonna sit there, press down on them, they will go away. There, you just don't wanna, again, have a lot to do as far as that goes. And again, those air bubbles left 0 adhesive lines. Now, that being said, this is a textured film, and textured films tend to hide that kind of stuff a little bit more, but it's also a gloss. So you don't often find a lot of glossy textured films, and even if you do, they can mark, okay? Okay, let's do the side. Let's heat it up. It's gonna wrinkle and then go tight. Here we go. This is the deep one. So I'm just fanning it as I go along. Nice. Okay. Still have to squeegee out the flat section here. Make sure there's no air left behind. Oh, not much. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. Beautiful. Okay, and since I have you here, I might as well show you a little cutout for this, because I'm not going to do it on the other side. Since this is just a rental, it's going to come off afterwards. I could care less about doing it on both sides, but I will show you this side. And it'd basically be the same thing on the other side. All right, let's just undo our edges here anyways. Like that's pretty wild, that stuff. Like, it looks pretty nuts. And again, I had this submerged in water all day. The previous versions, or whatever's basically on the market right now, that's mainly meant for interior use, it gets water between the laminate even just from rain. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, let's zoom in more. So let's find a good spot, sorry, wrong way. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is find a good camera angle. One that's not, they're gonna put the camera in my way, but it's also still gonna be able to show you enough. Okay, so something like that, let's focus it there. Okay, let's go focus there. Okay, anyways, it's focusing there, it should be close enough. Okay, so we wanna trim the material back, okay? This is important. We don't wanna trim the material back entirely, and I masked this off with masking tape, so I can trim on it safer, or more safely. You can hear the tape. I'm not trying to press into the tape. I'm trying to just graze the surface slightly. So I can remove that section, okay? Section 1. Section 2, lift the material up, okay? I'm gonna cut closer to the corner, so the corner here and the corner over there are the harder parts to get the material around. So we're gonna cut a little closer to these corners here. Again, taking it off is so much less risk. There's risk in maybe breaking the thing, but less risk in missing an area of the hood which might be exposed and seen by the customer or yourself. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is take the material. It's easy to lift off the tape because we have masking tape there. Push it towards the corner. I'm gonna warm it a bit so I can just push it over to the corner a little bit more easily. Take the buffer side of my squeegee and start pre-tucking it in there. If it bunches or wrinkles, you just warm it, okay? Okay, so same thing down here. Probably don't even need to heat it down here because this is an easier corner. Okay, so pre-tucking, I'm using the buffer side first. The buffer side is important because that's the side that gets the air out better than the hard edge side. So you want to start with the buffer side and then you can switch to the hard edge side once you start getting it more or less tucked in there. Okay, almost on the top here. It's a funny spot actually. There we go. Okay, this one will be hard to see over here, but you're gonna get the idea for most of it. So same idea for the corner. It's basically the same style corner, just the opposite side. Just a touch of heat, like kissing it with heat. Okay, once I find my edge and I'm confident that the material is slightly underneath, or maybe it's not even entirely underneath yet, or underneath at all, then what you do is you trim. I'm gonna shrink that back down so you can see better. There we go. You're gonna trim right on the top edge, and you're gonna estimate how much you wanna tuck in there, basically. So I'm gonna start up here. I'll be in your way for probably a moment. So I'm at the edge. Now I'm estimating how much more I wanna go in. So I'm cutting about 1/8 of an inch on top of the tape, or on top of the emblem. I would rather have too much than too little. Remember that. Okay, let's keep going here. And let's get, I just lost my spot, so there we go. That's just the tape you're hearing. If you're not confident doing this or comfortable doing this, put 25 layers of tape down. I don't care, just don't damage anything. As many as you need. Come around this one. Okay, let's go back this way. Where did I start? Somewhere there. Cool. All right. Stick that scrap. Okay, I just cleaned up most of the floor, so I don't want to clean it all up again. I'm going to pull off the corners again here. Pull off the tape. Use your tucking tool, whatever you have to, whatever works. Now, this little emblem, it moves. Like I can get my squeegee behind it easily. There's a little foam padding that goes around it, but see what I'm doing there? I'm able to kind of pull this away and get the material tucked in behind it. It goes in really nicely. Most of them you'll be able to do this, okay? Like most emblems like this are not two-sided tape done. They'll have a foam padding behind it, but they'll be clipped in. Now, if you can figure out how to get the clips off, that's the best way to go about it. But if you can't, then the option is this. And again, there's just foam padding there. Don't cut and butcher that all up because that's possible, so just be mindful. But we're way in there far enough. I can't see any type of white anywhere. And that's how you go about doing a section like that. Let me just finish up the last tiny little bit right here, just so I can say that I did it, at least on one side, and then we're good to go. We're gonna move on to the rest of the stuff. And since I have you here, we might as well work on the front corners. Okay, so again, trying to get my squeegee behind there. There we go. Get the thing pried away slightly, and that helps me get underneath really nicely. If you have too much material, that can also be a problem too. So if you leave too much, then it can be too hard to tuck in the extra material. So keep in mind, you want to balance that out. You can do a little test run first. You can take a little scrap piece of material, throw it over top, cut it all out, see how it goes by tucking it all in, see if you need more or less. And just remember how you did it the first time. Cool. So let me just take that off so we can get a better appearance or better visual. Almost gonna get into the rest of the good stuff. I'm excited to see this PPF that they're coming out with. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I'll try to remember to silence that when I edit the video. Okay, so beautiful, okay? Turned out super nice. Let's try and move the camera around a bit. Get you in really close. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Nice, okay. Now let's get into finishing up this hood. Come across. Well, actually, let's do the corner here first before I forget. I left this popped. I believe I did, yep. Oh, I lost that up there. So we're gonna open up the hood. Everything at this point is squeegeed down, and now we're able to elevate the hood. I didn't elevate this hood like with a box or anything like that, because it's already high enough. I don't want to stand on 2 race ramps. I don't want to stand any higher than I had to. Okay, perfect. Good. Good. Let's pop it up a bit. Still sticking over here? Shouldn't be. There. Okay, it sounds horrible, but nothing happened. I'm gonna look for my small box that I had earlier. Oh yeah, it's on the side of the car, side of the truck. I'm sure you guys saw it. Let's just plop this down on here. I'm just gonna keep it at a nice level so I have good access to the edges and corners right in front of me. All right, glove on. It's glove on time. Here we go. Heat. And nothing's happening on the corner. That's totally cool. It's shrinking down a little bit. Now I'm just gonna mold it down the rest of the way. Done, that corner's finished. I'll go around the rest of the stuff here. Cool. This all just shrunk down all on its own. Okay, so we're gonna keep going around the hood. Easiness. I would say the hardest part of doing a polymeric material is just, it's a little harder to stretch, you know, it's not a pressure sensitive film, you know, nothing else. There's only 2 brands in the world are. So when it comes to pressure sensitivity, you're not gonna find it in any other brand other than just 2 brands. And those 2 brands do not have anything that looks anything like this at all. So if you wanna use something like this, you have to learn how to use something like this. See the back edge. Every edge gets a minimum of 3 passes. You don't want the film sticking to the fender. There we go. So my process is I heat, I cut, and then I heat again. Let's move the camera over a bit more and get you more centered again, but maybe on an angle so we can get most of it in, but it doesn't have to be all of it. Cool, something like that. Okay, heat all this, 0 fingers, 0 wrinkles, okay? That is a sign that we do not have tension in our edge. It's not a sign, it is a for real thing that we don't have tension at our edge. So it means that there was no stretching downwards towards this edge. You can see the weave and the pattern in the material is consistent and even. 0 fingers over here as well. I'm doing the exact same thing on the corner. There's no wrinkles again at the edges. It's all about alleviating tension. If you don't, and then you cut, it's gonna look bad. It's gonna pull back on you most likely. Cool, almost done. Oh, I wish I had this one on video. The back corner here just went straight down. Straight down and around all on its own. All right. Just a little close to the fender. I should have put a piece of tape on the fender. It would have helped prevent the material from sticking to it. Otherwise, we're rocking. Okay, done. Okay, cut time. So keep going back over here. I'm gonna cut the back section. I'll come around the front. I rest my knife in line with the hood. So it's pointing at the same angle as the hood, which is slightly upwards, like on a slope upwards. I'm gonna come around my corner. And the way I do this corner is the way I'll do the other corner in the front, which you'll be able to see in a moment. Come around this one, take your time. Taking your time is key because that helps clean installation, or helps your installation come out super clean. Can't really get a clean installation if you rush. Stuck on the fender, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna come down and around your ends in a second. Okay, around the corner. So let's come, there's a rubber seal thing here. I would have taken that off if I was wrapping this for a customer. So it's just kind of in my way. So I'm gonna cut the wrong way. This time I don't usually cut this direction, but just to show you, I'm gonna come in and cut around the corner very nicely, like so. Come back up and meet the other side like that. Minimal material on the corner is ideal for having it looking clean. It also lasts long as you don't have tension at your corner. Okay, so you can see what's happening there. I'm just running my blade around the underside edge, staying in line with the angle of the hood. Pulling the material down and away the entire time as I do this. Now this hood's a little bit funny. There's like a little extra white section underneath it that kind of protrudes. When the hood's down, you can sort of see it. Worst case, it's like separate from the actual hood. It's like beyond, it's like the weld line or something. So you can slap a piece over that afterwards. We're doing this hood in particular. Coming down and around here, and we're almost done the cut. Last step will be to heat it, and that'll be it. I guess the texture that I'm hearing is like the layer inside the film where I can hear the carbon fiber in there. And if you want it to go to the ultimate extent, you could slap some clear PPF over top of this probably, and it would help protect it. Like if you're doing it all yourself, you're just paying for product. So it's not a massive cost. It costs a lot less than a real carbon fiber hood, I'll tell you that. Without, like, you don't buy a carbon fiber hood to save weight. Most people don't. Most people buy a carbon fiber hood to look cool. Purely aesthetic, look cool, whatever, just to tie in with the aesthetic of the exterior of the vehicle. You know, the carbon fiber hood is gonna, this hood's like plastic. The carbon fiber hood is gonna take off what? Another 1 to 2 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds, who knows? I mean, if your hood was steel, I get it, you might save like 10, 15 pounds, but most hoods are not steel these days. They're aluminum, plastic, whatever. So you're not gonna save any weight switching to a carbon fiber hood. Not enough to justify the cost of buying one. I would much rather just be honest and say, hey, yeah, I bought a carbon fiber hood because it looks great and I like it. That's all. Which is exactly what we're doing here, okay? We're making the hood look great because we like it. Carbon fiber is not for everyone. On top of that, so. But I do know it's super popular still after all these years. All right, I've gone around it, given the edges a bit of a post heat. Overall, let's drop this down. We can see how glossy the finish looks. The reflection, super nice. Gloss carbon fiber that does not leak water into it. That is like the most important thing, okay? You don't get that with any other carbon fiber on the market, not with this look at least. I'm just moving the camera again. Not with this look, okay? Like, look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, I mean, guys, let me know what you think. I think it looks beautiful. I think it looks even good on the truck, to be honest. It makes me, you know, wonder if I should carbon fiber my Jeep. I'm joking. I don't think it will suit the Jeep, but I think it looks great. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, the link to this product will be in the description, as long as links to other tools that I use. Again, if you're looking for my website or looking for online training, check out my website, ckapps.com. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Take care.